Hello, everyone, and welcome to Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, a registered medium here at Lilydale and the host of this show. As you're joining in, please do say hello and let me know where you're from. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. I didn't see you last week because we were teaching our free class, so it'll be nice to get back into the flow of doing my show. So as you're joining in, definitely say hello. We've got a great show planned for tonight. Not only will I be doing many readings and answering your questions, but I'm actually going to talk a little bit about a couple, 2, 3 ideas that can help you handle your problems so that you feel better. So we are going to be talking about that tonight. And as usual, I just love hearing from you. So any comments you have, any thoughts or ideas, please share. So as you're joining in, say hello and I'll do all my details. Okay, so we are here live from Lilydale in Lilydale, New York. As I said, I'm a registered medium. I'm also an intuitive life coach, a spiritual teacher, author of my book, Courageously You. And you can find out more about me at my website, ColleenVanderzijden.com or BeCourageouslyYou.com. Both of those work. And in Lilydale right now, the summer program is up on the website in case you haven't noticed. So definitely check that out. As you're coming on, do say hello. There's Paula. Hi, Paula. Thanks. Greg got that for me for Christmas. He thought I needed some lights in my room, which I did. So it's beautiful. So hi, Lori. Nice to see you. And it's so nice when I get to talk to you guys as you're logging in and also as we get going on the show. So Lilydale's summer season is up on the website. Can you believe it? It is January and it's up. LilydaleAssembly.org. You can see all of the workshops coming, all the special events, everything like this. It's amazing. And we are also going to be let's see. We've got off-season workshops going on with Zoom and that too. So feel free to check those as well. I'm not really sure why Greg is posting an apple pie fries recipe on my page right now. But here we are. What can I tell you? Ignore that. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Susan. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Julie. So we are going to have some fun. As I said, we are going to talk about some different ways to help you look at your problems differently, and we are going to do some mini readings as well. So a lot of people are struggling right now, as you may know, lots of problems. People are feeling kind of hopeless and powerless. Some of the situations they're experiencing are directly in their own lives and impacting them. Some of the things they're experiencing are outside of themselves, external events, things they can or cannot control. And so what we want to do is just start to look at some of these things from a different perspective. And I know that when I use these ideas, I feel so much better and I don't get caught in my head. Hi, Kathleen and Jessica and Pam. Nice to see you guys. And so we're going to talk about that. And as I said, I'll just remind you again, we're going to do some readings and answer some questions. Hi, Jan and Jennifer. And as you guys are here, if you're not on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach, and you think you might want a reading or you think you're going to have a question you'd like to ask, you need to be over here on my page, not Lilydale's page, because I can't see the comments. So that's how we communicate here. So let's get back to our problems. We have so many problems, don't we? And so many people I'm meeting are really struggling right now. And we live our lives in our minds. Okay, we live our lives in our minds with our feelings, our reactions to whatever might be happening in our lives. And the first time I heard somebody say that we live our lives in our minds with our thoughts and our feelings, I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I started really looking at it. And it's true. It really is, right? Something happens and we react to it. And then maybe we keep reacting or complaining about it or whatever it might be. And sometimes we create our own negative situations in our mind with that negative inner voice that so many of us have. And we can get stuck really worrying about things and wondering what's going to happen. How's it going to come out? We can get stuck complaining about situations that we cannot change, but in our complaints, we keep ourselves stuck. So some of these things we cannot change. We cannot change necessarily what's happening in the world, but we can change our perspectives. And I like to call these ideas spiritual solutions or spiritual perspectives, because to me, I have noticed that when I use them, I feel closer spiritually to the divine, the universal energy. And we can shift what's happening in our heads. So if you're wanting to live as your true self, live as your soul, these things, you might find this quite interesting. So the first thing we're going to talk about, hi, Carol. The first thing we're going to talk about is the power of choice. This is so important, the power of choice. Part of the issue with our problems, the situations around us, the things that are happening, is we feel like we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice to go through some things. We don't have a choice in how we respond. We don't have a choice in what to do. Okay, this is a mindset, a belief we have that may or may not be true. And we may not have a choice when it comes to our circumstances, right? Things happen. And sometimes we can get caught up in wishing things were different. And when we do this, that's when we're tempted or likely to get stuck as we start worrying about the things that are going on around us. How many of you guys are worrying about some things right now and it just seems like you can't get out of your head? You know, when something goes wrong, sometimes it really goes up there, right? Part of the problem with this, too, is our conditioning, our programming as we were growing up was to focus on the exterior things, the things outside of ourselves, our external successes, our financial success, how we appear to other people, what do they think about us, those kinds of things. You notice this is all outside of us. So we have been trained to focus on that. And I've said this before, we never really got trained to look at ourselves and recognize the power we have to feel better or change our lives. I got a lot of you going, yep, me. Hi, Darlene and Laura, Jennifer. Yeah, right? There's so much going on out there, but we react in here. And this is from that training that we've had to focus on the external. So we think we can't change things. And maybe, again, we can't change the external, but we can change our perspectives and how we're looking at things. These are such simple ideas I'm going to share with you tonight. And don't worry, I'm going to leave lots of times for questions and reading. So we're going to have a lot of time. So hang out with me for a little bit. But I wanted to share this because I'm talking to so many people lately who are really feeling powerless and like their life is never going to change. So we do have the power of choice. We have the choice in our mindset, what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And right away, I heard somebody out there say it to themselves, no, I can't change how I'm feeling. I can't change how I'm thinking. Okay, so let's change that thought. You don't have to believe that. You can change your thoughts. You can change your emotions. Now, that doesn't mean we're skipping the emotions. Something happens and we're sad, we're upset. We have to have the emotion, okay? We're going to have it, move through it, get on with life. If we get stuck there, that's when the problem is. But we can change these things. We can change our thoughts. We can change our words. The self-talk that we say to ourselves all the time, as well as the words we use to describe our lives and how we're feeling, our words are so important. We change our words and all sorts of things can change. We have a choice in our actions. We don't have to be a doormat for somebody else's abuse or criticism. We don't have to. We can choose to do something differently. We always have a choice. So if you resist that idea, you think to yourself, I don't have a choice. I invite you to look at it from a bigger perspective. You have a choice in what you do in your head. And that's how you're experiencing your lives, with your thoughts and your feelings. So you have a choice and you can change them. If you can open your mind up to that and recognize that you can change things, this is going to help you get your power back. What happens with all that crap that happens in our lives and we feel like we can't change things because we're focused out there, and again, maybe we can, maybe we can't. But if we start to recognize we can do something, we have the power of choice to do something to help ourselves feel better and to help ourselves handle whatever is happening in our lives. Way back when I was a teacher, I happened to read in a research journal, which was odd in itself because I did not read research journals. And it's just happened to see this article one day about people who have a growth perspective in their learning styles, where we believe if we try to do something, we can improve, that we can change our minds, we can move in new directions. And what I was surprised to see was that some other people did not have that perspective. They believe the way they are is the way they are, and it will never change. I have always been one to recognize that I liked learning and that I could change, I could grow, I could improve. It is the same idea in recognizing we have a choice. In my book, here it is, Courageously You, Magical Mind Games to Get Unstuck and Reignite Your Joy. In the very first chapter, it is all about the power of choice. And you can actually get the first chapter for free on my website by going to the book page. You can get it for free and you can read it and get all the details there. Okay, but I'm going to give you a little bit of it now. I have in my book something called Magical Mind Games. And what they are is you change your mind and they basically create magic. They can change your life. The first magical mind game in there is I choose. Okay. What we're doing is we start to recognize that everything we are doing, we are actually choosing to do. So we start to identify what we're doing. So say I sit down and there's a bowl of chocolate in front of me. I am either choosing to eat the chocolate or not eat the chocolate, but I acknowledge it to myself. I'm choosing. I'm choosing to pick up this pen. I'm choosing to talk to you. If I wake up in the morning in my weird mood, I'm like, I'm choosing to be upset. Okay, what happens is you start to recognize all the choices you make and how you can change things as you go about your day. It's very magical. Pamela is saying, I'm a solution-focused person. I like to look at all perspectives, adjacent possibilities. It is hard when others push back on your efforts, right? It really is. And so using this magical mind game of I choose, I can choose to believe it's hard. Okay, now I'm not saying it's not hard, but I can choose to believe it's hard and think that I can't change it. Or I can recognize that it is hard and realize I can choose to change that perspective. I can choose to be strong in myself, etc. So as you do this, playing with this power of choice, it's actually fun. And what I've heard from people who have read that chapter in my book is they say that they were surprised at what that simple idea, that simple exercise changed what they were doing and how they were feeling. It started to get them back into their power. The power of choice is amazing. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, and if you're just joining me, I'm Colleen Vanderzijden, medium here at Lilydale. And Debbie's saying, buy it, it's magical. Choosing is one of my favorites. Even I choose to clean the toilet right now feels better. It does, doesn't it? It's kind of the difference between I choose to do something and I have to do something. Have to is kind of a negative energy, but choose to is I'm in my power and I'm making it happen, right? It's amazing. Acknowledging our power as we're doing this. Okay. So, if you're just joining, as I said, I'm Colleen Vanderzijden. Tonight we are talking about 3 simple little ideas to help you feel better, particularly if you're having some problems in your life and you're starting to feel a little bit helpless, hopeless, or powerless. Yes, and Carol says it's empowering. Glenda, using that in my coaching sessions. I love it. Yay. Hi, Ashley. Yeah, it's empowering. Our words are so important, and recognizing the power of choice is number 1 to change your life. Of course, awareness has to be before that, because if you're not aware of it, you can't change anything. So awareness first, then the power of choice. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do, as I said, readings tonight and answering questions. So feel free to ask questions while I'm going right now, and make sure you're on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach, not Lilydale's, because I can't see the comments there. Okay, the next thing when you're talking about this, if you have a problem, ask yourself, what can you do to feel better? What choice can you make? What can you do to feel better? It is not wishing that somebody else is acting differently. It is not wishing that you won $1 million. It's what can you do right now to help yourself? This is taking you into your self-responsibility. You know, you're the one living your life. You get to decide how you're going to live it. You get to decide what you're going to think, what you're going to do, how you're going to live. You get to decide all that. And that's pretty powerful. So don't wait for something outside of yourself to change before you decide what you're going to do to make yourself feel better. And I'm going to check the comments here. Jan, my Lord, I started this. I have hated, feared, and dreaded winter for a long time. Something changed. My attitude. It comes anyway, so loving it is so much better. Colleen gave me beautiful pictures that have helped me do that. Oh, I've been posting a lot of pictures about winter. I myself am not a winter person, but I have to say, as much as I dislike cold and snow, it really is beautiful. And I make the choice to look for the good in the winter. Jessica says words are everything. They really are. I could do a whole hour and a half on words and how to switch your words to positive words. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. Laura said, I start to feel like I would be a blooming flower and felt like there were Edward Scissorhand people and would just clip, snip, and destroy me. But your book has helped me get out of that. Well, I'm happy to hear. I heard somebody actually saved their marriage after reading my book. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Hi, Sam. Nice to see you. Chrissy says, I feel like I'm on an emotional roller coaster. One of my favorite phrases, Chrissy. Don't understand what's happening. Going to write that down for us here because I'm going to talk to you in a bit. Emotional roller coaster. You know what other phrase I use a lot? And how many of you feel like that, emotional roller coaster? Another phrase I use a lot is feeling like a pinball, like a ball in a pinball machine, bouncing from one problem to the other. That's how I have sometimes felt as well. So we've got emotional roller coaster, we got pinball machine. Glenda says, I feel like I'm at a tipping point in my career. I get frustrated because things aren't going fast enough. What can I do to help me wait out this situation? Well, Glenda, you must know. Did you get my newsletter today? I talked about trusting divine timing today. So let's see. I'm making a note. Things not fast enough. Okay, good. Oh, yeah, Anne, it's hard, isn't it, when we've lost our family? It really is. And hello, Kate. Okay, I will get to that, you guys. Let me go to my next two things. They're short. Don't worry. I got lots of time to answer your questions and do some mini reads and whatever else pops into my head. So the next thing, after power of choice, recognizing you're responsible, you can change how you're experiencing your life. Woohoo, how fun is that? The next one is thinking about resistance versus acceptance. So much of our pain and suffering comes from resistance. We resist what's happening in our lives. We don't want these things to happen. We don't want the flat tire. We don't want that mean person in our lives. We don't want to wait to find out what's going to happen with a job or a situation. We don't want to wait, so we resist it. We're pushing it away. We might have a crappy marriage or a crappy job, and we resist that it's there. We resist how we feel, particularly the negative emotions, right? If we're anxious, angry, mad, sad, depressed, we push them away. We resist it. We resist change. We don't want something new. It's too risky to try something new. It's too risky to make a difficult decision. It's risky and scary. So if we don't like something, we push it away. We don't want it. All of that is some kind of, I'm going to call it like a knee-jerk reaction. We all do it, okay? And I do it too sometimes, too. It's like something happens and we just, I don't want that, so we do this, right? But it's all rooted in the idea that we're trying to keep ourselves safe. We're trying to keep ourselves protected. If we don't let that in, we push it away, then we don't have to experience it, right? We don't have to deal with the issues. We don't have to do it. But the problem with this is the more we push something away, the stronger it gets. And also, what if it is something we do need to process and deal with? Okay, if your marriage isn't going so well and you just keep putting it off to dealing with it, you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to deal with it. Before you know it, time can really go by and you've been putting it off for 2 or 3 years and you're no happier now than you were 3 years ago. So sometimes we have to move into a different direction. So if we're resisting something, you'll know you're resisting it because you're going to feel badly. Something is going on. You'll be upset about something. You're resisting whatever it is. The answer is to accept what's happening, right? Accept it. We don't like doing that. We don't like that idea because we think if we accept something, that means we're giving up in defeat, okay? Like we're giving up in defeat, or that, even worse, that we approve of whatever is happening. Or in acceptance, we think that means it's never going to change. The situation, whatever it is never going to change. And that's not the case, okay? I'm going to check the comments for a second just in case things scroll away on me as they so frequently do. Jennifer Brown, no idea direction. Yeah, okay. It's interesting. You guys are saying things that I actually wrote in my newsletter today. So we will be talking about those. I can't find self-love, only negative feelings, self-loathing. Okay, we're going to work on that. Self-loathing. Oh, I hope I can read this later. Okay, everybody's got stuck in so many things. Oh, let's see, Kate Ann. I'm going through a lot of medically complex issues for months, causing me to miss a lot of work. Well, my fiance is amazing and trying so hard for us. We are struggling, and I feel so much guilt that my lack of contribution is sinking us. I don't know how to not feel this way or see positively. Okay, Kate. Medical. Okay, this is a good time to talk about something like this. So now here's a perfect example with Kate right there, where she's got a lot of medical stuff happening, and so she has to miss work, and it's causing lots of other situations. So our normal reaction, of course, is we want to push what's happening away. We don't want to experience it. We don't want to be there with that. And like I said, if we push something away and resist it, it actually gets stronger. And that's where you're going to feel so much guilt. That your lack of contribution is sinking us, your words, okay? So what we would want to do, and this is radical in so many ways and might be hard for some of us to listen to, would be to accept that this is happening, accept that there are medical things happening, accept that you can't work as much as you'd like to, accept that, yes, you're not bringing in as much money. Now, this does not mean we approve of it. This does not mean we like it. This does not mean it's going to stay this way. But what happens is in acceptance, we start to look at it a little bit more objectively and go, okay, this is happening. What can I do about it? Okay, and let's make it a simpler example than something medical, because medical does carry a lot of emotional charge with it, and especially when it's related to money. So let's say somebody punches a hole in your wall. Okay, we're not going to worry about the person that punched the hole in the wall, but we've got a hole in the wall now. So we could be upset. Oh, I've got this hole in the wall, and I feel horrible about this. I don't know what to do. Was he like this? Da, 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 da. Instead, we can be more objective and step back and go, I've got a hole in the wall. What can I do to fix it? And be objective about it, because I've accepted it now. If I'm pushing against it and resisting and getting all emotionally entangled up in the idea that this person was so nasty and mean and da 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 da, it clutters my head and I can't think clearly. Okay, now, so we want to go, this is how I feel, this is what I think, be objective, and then we're back to what I said earlier. If we have a problem, ask yourself, what can you do to feel better? What choice can you make? Okay, now, Kate, your guilt is probably not helping you feel better. And I know it's coming from wanting to be responsible and helpful and all that. So what could you do to help yourself feel better? You accept that this is happening right now, understand it's not permanent, and also forgive yourself for feeling guilty and recognize that you're actually doing the best you can. Right? The priority is your medical health. Okay, so that's the priority. You're doing the best you can. And your fiance, you say, is amazing and trying so hard. So he gets it. He understands. He's there for you. So moving into gratitude can help counterbalance some of that guilt. Okay, what we want to do is get out of the crappy stuff in our heads as much as possible. And as we start to look at it more objectively, that will help. Now, because this is a bigger issue than a hole in the wall, of course, you may have to work through some more of those emotions. You may have some anger of what's happening in your body. You may have some sadness about what's happening in your body. And you may just have to work through those things. Journaling, of course, is a great way to do that, etc. But sometimes just allowing the emotions to come up, go, yeah, I'm so angry this is happening. As I always say, we want to make sure we don't get stuck there. If you notice you're complaining, or your mind is going like this over and over and over and over again, worrying and getting stuck, what you want to do is pause. You're going to stop and you're going to pause. And if you guys read my newsletter today, I'm just going to repeat myself right now with that. Okay, instead of trying to force or control what's happening, we allow and we wait for divine timing to bring us the answers. So we just stop thinking about those things. We move into the guilt. We say, I'm not going to think about that right now. I'm going to trust divine timing that everything is going to work out perfectly just as it should. Okay, so some thoughts on that, Kate. Some other examples like this. We can't change, say your husband's an alcoholic. You can't change him, right? Everybody's responsible for themselves, but you can change your response to it. So if you're resisting it, you might be ignoring what's happening. You might be enabling. Okay, those are all signs of resisting. But if you accept that your husband is an alcoholic, whether or not he is recovering, getting help, or anything like that, but if you accept that, now you can look at the situation and change your response. What are you choosing to do? What is best for you to do in this situation? So acceptance brings us to a clearer head. Okay. Another thing with like medical stuff, and medical stuff is tough, okay? Because we do get worried about what the end results are going to be. We do feel like sometimes it's never, ever going to get better. But what we want to do is, rather than catastrophize what could happen, what can we do to take care of ourselves? What can we do? Accept it's here, and what can we do? Ask for help, get counseling, stop Googling, whatever it might be. I have heard so many times people who have had very serious illnesses who have said that it was one of the best things that ever happened to them, which we would all go, oh, really? But it's because what happened is they processed the emotions that were connected, but also they started to really see what was most important in their lives. And what is most important in our lives is the love we have with people and the connections we have with people and the joy we feel and the gratitude we feel. Notice it's not our jobs. Okay, it's not like, oh, that's the best thing ever. No, people found out it's the connections with each other that were the most important. The joy they felt at seeing a flower, the simple things in life. So after we've processed most emotions, we can move into those things. So if you're upset about something, what are you resisting? What could it be? Okay, now I'm going to check the comments for a second. Okay, hold on 2 seconds here as I'm unhiding a comment. I have certain words on my my page that are blocked because I had these trolls years ago who were saying all these really strange things. So certain words are blocked. So if your post gets hidden, it's probably because you used a word like shoe or something, literally. And see, Ellie says she agrees. Epilepsy is actually a gift to me since it's actually opened more doors to spirit for me. Right? Now, see, this is not something that comes quickly. So if something is happening, again, we've got to process the emotions, and that means opening up to it and allowing ourselves to accept the emotions. Okay, so if you're upset about something's not working the way you want it to, you're probably resisting whatever is happening. Okay, that is the root of so much of our pain and suffering is resistance. Okay, I am going to scroll back up a little bit more, and don't you worry, I'm going to be doing stuff. I got one more thing to say, and then I'll be talking some more. Melissa, I feel like stuck in quicksand, right? No matter how much I struggle to get free, I sink deeper. Okay, panic attacks wake her up at night. It's like I'm running from something, and I wake up. Melissa, as soon as I read that, the first thing I thought of was, when you're in the ocean and there's a riptide, so you're swimming, you get caught in a riptide, and you go out into the ocean. Okay, it just drags you out. You can't stop it. What we do in a riptide, what we do when we feel like we're sinking and in quicksand is we struggle and we claw. We try to claw our way out of it. Okay, we try to claw. Okay, in a riptide, you cannot swim against it. The way to get out of these rip currents is to go with the flow of the water, which means we accept that we're in this current. We accept it. It goes against everything. We don't want to do that, right? Because I'm getting swept out to sea. And you may feel like that if you're drowning in quicksand too, right? So we don't want to do that. So that's when we will try to swim against it and will make us feel like we're drowning. Literally, we can drown by resisting whatever's happening. But if instead we accept that we're feeling this way and go into it a little bit, just go, I am feeling anxiety. I am feeling sadness. I am feeling like I'm drowning. I am feeling anxious, whatever it is. If we do that and accept it, that starts to diffuse the emotions. We're afraid to do that because we think if we step into emotions, sadness, depression, anger, whatever, that we're going to get stuck there and we won't be able to get out, or it's going to be so painful. But what I have found, and I would not be telling you this if it were not true, what I have found is if we feel the emotions for 1 to 2 minutes, that's all, they diffuse and they'll start to lessen their hold on you. So the next time we feel anxious, we stop and we go, I'm feeling anxious at this moment. My body is anxious. And then start paying attention to how your body's feeling. Very objectively, very curiously, what's happening? My stomach is tight, my shoulders are here, my jaw is tight, whatever it might be. Just notice. That's all it is. No judging of it, just notice. That gets you out of your head, back into your body, and you're also accepting the emotions. The first time I heard this idea, Spirit told me one night when I was feeling anxious, and I literally laughed out loud. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And it was very clear that's what you're supposed to do. So the next time I had that feeling, I did it. I felt better so much faster. So that is a wonderful way to break that feeling of drowning in emotions. So you have to accept it. And the added thing here that I mentioned, checking in with your body. How does your body feel? Breaks the habit of being stuck up here, pushing it away. I don't want to feel this anymore. See, the struggle to get free is I'm pushing it away. I'm resisting it, and I don't want that. Okay. So when you notice you're doing that, change it right away. It's going to feel a little weird the first few times you try this because it goes against everything our bodies want to do. But it's not our fault. We were trained to do that, push things away. Okay. So instead we go the opposite. It really works. I'm telling you guys, any of you guys struggling with that, it really, really works. Yeah. So interesting, isn't it? Yeah, Laura says it's okay to think or feel a certain way, but don't unpack the suitcase and stay in those thoughts or feelings. Yes. And that means we have to process. We have to feel them. It really, really makes a difference. Okay. And a couple things. And actually, I'm going to digress for just a moment because so many of you already know, because we did our free class last week, that we have opened the doors for our soul empowerment community, and they close tonight. And we started this community to help people who were feeling stuck in their emotions or stuck not knowing which way to go in life, not knowing how to get unstuck, how to feel better, how to get back in their power. And we also started it for people because we've had so many people tell us how curious they are about spiritual matters, of course, wanting to live from their soul's perspective, wanting to connect more with their light, wanting to feel like they were really living their meaning and purpose and in that spiritual flow. So we have that going, has started. We started it last year. And just to give you an idea, it's a great program, I have to say. I think it's a great program. We do 2 live events every month, and we've got some really cool workshops coming up in the community, manifesting a meaningful, joyful life, energetic techniques for emotional healing. We're going to do mindfulness, finding people who get you, some empath survival skills. I'll be doing some soul guidance sessions where I give people information on their souls and how to get there. We've got deep dive intensives, 4 to 6 week, longer term, like dream interpretation for 4 to 6 weeks, where you get to have your dreams interpreted and learn how to do it yourself. Downloadable books and all sorts of bonuses. There's a curated vault of wisdom in there, has lots and lots of information, so much information. All the archived workshops we've already done are in there. The recordings, we've done auras, meeting your guides, handling difficult people, so many things. And one of the coolest bonuses, you get 20% off any of mine or Greg's independently produced events. So my Reimagine Your Life retreat, which is coming up in May in person, and my coaching programs, you get 20% off that. And Greg does a forgiveness workshop, you get 20% off that. So that all comes from the Soul Empowerment community. So if you're interested in that, registration does close tonight. So you'll want to check that. Ashley, if you're still watching, can you post the link? And if not, I'll post it afterward. Or you can find it on my page. It's there somewhere. So I just want to tell you about that because the whole reason we started it was to help people I mean, that's the reason why we started it. I can tell you we didn't start it because of all the work it takes, because it takes a lot of work and a lot of tech, but it's worth it if it's helping people, because we really want people to live in their soul's light with that joy, that meaning and purpose that we deserve. It's amazing. Okay, anyway, enough of that, because we got to get to the next thing. Okay, we have acceptance. So we've talked about the power of choice, how you live your life in your mind with your thoughts, your words, your emotions, and how you can change them. And acceptance rather than resistance. Acceptance leads us to surrender and trust. One of my favorite guides. Years ago, what I used to do is I had a whiteboard up and I would put certain words up. So whenever I was upset, I would look at that whiteboard and I'd go, that is the one I'm not doing. So is it I'm not trusting something? Is it I'm trying to control something? Is it I'm resisting something? Is it I think I don't have a choice? That really helped me on my spiritual path. It was amazing. Jessica's going to be joining. Yay. Yeah, it's a great, the soul empowerment community is really awesome. And again, you can find it on my page. I posted it earlier today. But you'll definitely want to check it out and see. Dawn, my husband passed away last month and I can't seem to move on from the grief. I try to keep busy to keep my mind from dealing with the grief, but it comes back so much harder all at once. The loss is devastating still. Dawn, I'm so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. Number one, I'm digressing, everybody. Got to go here. Number one, your husband passed away last month. Okay, this may not be the time to move on. Every day is going to be different. I mean, you know this grief. I've taught grief workshops, and grief is, whoo, man, grief is tough, okay? Especially when you're talking about somebody like your husband, right? Because we miss them so much. We may know 100% that they're around us, their spirit's still here, but it's not the same as having their physical being with us. So give yourself some grace. And recognize that there are days that are going to be really hard and it's going to take a while to move into a new reality. Okay, so keeping yourself busy sometimes is good to do, but it is, as you've learned, you've got it so much harder all at once because it comes back. You've got to allow yourself to accept the grief. Just allow yourself. And we want to feel better, and we think we can power through and be the one person in the world who doesn't have a horrible time with grief, and we're all going to have it at some point if we haven't already. So give yourself some grace on that. Dawn, I'm so sorry to hear about your husband. I really, really am. The nice thing is we can all send you nice and positive healing energies right now. And everybody who's watching, just intend to send some love to Dawn so that she knows she's not alone as she's going through this process. It is a tough one for sure. Okay, so I'll get back on track. Sending you lots of love, Dawn, lots and lots of love. Surrender and trust. What this means, and the first time I heard the word surrender, you need to surrender. I was like, I'm not giving up. No, never. It's not that. It's not giving up in defeat. Same thing with acceptance, right? It's giving up trying to force or control things, trying to make things happen, especially things that cannot be controlled. Like grief. We cannot control grief, can we? We could be feeling fine and the next second we're not. It's the way grief is. So surrender means we get out of our own way. We stop trying to make things be a certain way. We stop forcing. Instead, we open ourselves up to be guided. We open ourselves up to trusting that what we're experiencing is what we're supposed to be experiencing. And that goes with our emotions as well, like I mentioned earlier, acceptance, resistance, etc. We want to live as our souls. We want to get to that part of our being where we are living in as much authenticity as possible. We want to be as close as we can to our truest soul. My philosophy in life, and you've all heard it before, I'm sure, is that everything I experience is helping me move toward my soul. Everything that I experience is an opportunity for me to learn more about myself, my reactions, my responses, what I believe to be true, whether I should question some of those things, how I respond to things, to be curious about myself, but to do it in such a way that it's not judgmental. Okay, we don't want to be judgmental toward ourselves. We just want to be curious. As we do surrender and trust, it's the acceptance, which means we move into surrender. We surrender that this is happening. I'm not going to try to control it. I'm not going to try to force. I do what I can if it's something I can make a difference for or in. If something's happening and I can change it, like I can change my tire, I can do that, okay? I can change it. But if my whole car gets crashed up, I can't fix my car. I have to go get a new one. So I see what I can or cannot do. And then as I surrender and get out of my own way, I trust that life is going to guide me to what I need to know. I trust that spirit is always around me, guiding me and protecting me and showing my way. I trust myself to the best of my ability to do my best. And so many things, so many of these things, such simple ideas, right? Power of choice, acceptance, surrender, and trust. But if you start to get a little bit off, things are bothering you, you feel a little unbalanced, you're upset or whatever, think about what's going on there. What are you resisting? What are you trying to control? What are you wishing is different? Move into acceptance and then the surrendering. These ideas can really help you let go of the pain and get out of feeling stuck and powerless. Okay. Let's see what we got. Kate, you are welcome. Ellie says, I run into that a lot with some people. I can be at fault with that sometimes, though I finally got to the point where I want to be authentic anymore for myself. I want to be authentic for myself. And this is the thing. Some of us are very much interested in being ourselves. Some of us are very much interested in living our soul's path and being our soul. I am passionate about it. I love it. I breathe it. I do it all the time. I love that. But some people are not into it that much, and that's why sometimes when you're out there talking to your friends about what's going on in your life and they're looking at you like you're weird because they don't get it, okay, there's a little disconnect there. Another reason why we started the community, because the people in the community are people who get you. It's the most amazing group of people, you guys. You've never seen such beautiful people in your life. So this is so much of what that means, okay? We want to live as ourselves and make ourselves the priority. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I wanted to talk to some people. I had written some notes. Let's see what I got. Glenda, things not going fast enough. Okay, and I saw somebody else had said, I agree with that, or I get that too. Okay, this is where we're back to that trusting the divine timing. So for those of you who missed it, trust the divine timing. We are humans. Oh, are we humans? And we want things to happen when we want them to happen. Okay. And when they don't happen when we want them to happen, we get more and more frustrated and impatient. And again, if you guys did not open my email today, you need to open my email. So we want to get in there and trust the divine timing. Okay. Oh, I can't read the handwriting, Jennifer. I can't read what I wrote down about you. I really can't. So you can post it again. Roseanne said something about not being able to love myself, self-loathing. How many of you guys feeling some of that? How many of you are feeling this, that self-loathing, not being able to move into some kindness and care and compassion for yourself? Again, not your fault. That comes from community, the external supports out there, the programming, the conditioning, telling you you're not good enough. And so it has been ingrained upon us. So of course we don't feel good, And so it takes us a while to learn to find our true selves. Roseanne, what I do in my coaching programs is we pick one quality. And this isn't quite exactly what I do, but this is what I'm telling you to do. So Roseanne, you want to pick something about yourself. You mentioned something about not being able to love yourself. So what you do is you create an intention. That is basically, I love myself. And if that makes you kind of go, ooh, and it probably will because you said self-loathing, every day you get up in the morning and you say, I love myself. Then you feel how you would feel if you loved yourself. Your energy should expand. You might have a little bit of that. I call it the cringe, where we go, oh, it doesn't feel quite right. Okay. And you might have some of that. That's okay. Keep saying it and feeling it to the best of your abilities. We have to counterbalance that other voice in your head. Okay, we got to counterbalance the self-loathing voice. So you're going to say to yourself, I love myself every day. Anybody who is struggling with that, Try this. I am big on words, as I said earlier. I am big on using the words to change our lives. The energy that is carried in our words makes a difference, good or not good. Okay. Okay, Julie. Make sure you're talking to your counselor. I feel stuck trying so hard. Sounds like replay will be helpful. I feel done. You're not alone in feeling done in so many ways. You've got to remember this. Everybody, remember, you have a light within you that does not go out. Your soul light is still there. So things always have the opportunity to get better. Okay, now, I've got like 15 minutes. Anybody wants a reading, write it in here. Been there, done that. It wasn't until 2015 I was able to say I am worthy and had a big awakening to that love. That was hard to go through on my birthday that year. It was like a rebirth of me, and that's what will happen. Jennifer, here we are. Okay, I knew you were here. Thank you. I'm at a I hate when it scrolls. I'm at a turning point in my life, but I feel lost and like I have no direction. So the first thing, Jennifer, from what I've said tonight, is to make sure you are accepting that you feel lost. Oh my, right? Do we hate that or what? We hate to accept that. But what if feeling lost is just the doorway to something better? What if this is necessary so you're ready for what's coming? I know it's uncomfortable. I've been there. It's uncomfortable. So Jennifer, let me give you a little reading here. Because you actually have a really bright light, Jennifer. Oh my gosh, I'm actually getting goosebumps with you, and that does not happen in this situation. Jennifer, you have such a bright light in your soul. You really do. It's like you came into this lifetime to make a difference in the people around you, in their lives. That doesn't mean self-sacrifice. No, this means you take care of yourself and you help other people. You are here because you are the kind of person that when you share your light and your love, you are very reassuring and you are very supportive. Okay, you're also the kind of person that literally would do anything for anyone. And we want to make sure you're doing that for yourself as well. I keep seeing the color blue with you. Blue to me is communication color. This means you're probably really good at talking to people and helping people with your words. I bet you your words are amazing. You might want to do, you might want to do the I am guided intention, which means you trust that spirit, God, divine, spirit guides, whoever, will guide you to your purpose, to your meaning, etc. I am guided. That will move you into a state of trust so that when you start going, I'm lost, I wish I knew where I was going, I wish I knew what was going to happen, you'll start to change your energy and instead move into one of that trusting and anticipating that you're going to be shown. Ooh, yeah. You have a beautiful energy, Jennifer. Okay, I'll just leave that so I don't stay there forever with you because you guys know me and I will go on and on and on and on and on and on because that's just the way it is. Okay, I'm going to go as fast as I can, try to hit as many of you as I can. Okay, so Angela. Oh my gosh, Angela, it's so funny. I don't really know much about you at this point, but the first thing that popped into my head, I just really wanted to laugh. And I mean that in the best way possible. The joy. You know, last night when Greg did the past life regression in the community, my guide in the regression, I saw him and we were just laughing and laughing and laughing. That's what it feels like with you. You are a person that you came into this lifetime with an amazing amount of joy, which I wonder because this is what I would say in a longer soul reading. Usually we come in with joy. That means we've had a lot of issues in our lives that may have gotten in the way of our joy. And we've had to learn to reclaim our joy. That's what usually happens when we come in with these qualities. And with you as well, Angela, I get such, oh, this is fun. I just had a visual. I have a visual of you like going down like a big slide. Okay, just like a really big slide. And the visual I saw was like totally like, whoa, I love this, and just really wholeheartedly enjoying your life. That's what it feels like. You must have amazing energy because I am feeling so inspired and empowered right now and enthusiastic. So that's you. What I am feeling is what you are. Okay, I will leave you that. That was fun. Whew, so much fun. Um, Okay, let me do this and let me unhide that. I'm so much healing works. Okay, Mary. She's saying she's discouraged by her lifelong money issues, been shamed over it, years of weird problems always coming up, so much healing work, and the improvements are slender. Is there any hope? There is always hope. Is it karmic and I can't escape it? I am not a big believer in karma, in that idea that so many people put out there that, you did something wrong in a previous life, so you have to pay for it in this life, like a punishment thing. I am not a believer of that at all. So I don't believe in that kind of karma. I can't escape it. That idea that you can't escape it is obviously very limiting, and you're scared and you feel like a loser, and it has to be very hard for you. And I bet you there's a bunch of other people on here tonight who have felt similar to you, if not the same as you. Okay. And it's really hard when we have a lot of these things going on to find one small thing to hold on to. Okay, it's hard. So we're going to acknowledge that. And then we're going to go for that one small thing anyway. And you know what popped in for me, for you, was I am light. And that is so right for you. I am light. I'm getting the goosebumps. Yes. This is you. At your core, you are light. Every day, remind yourself, I am light. Anytime you start worrying about something, I am light. Think about how that would feel. I am light. Okay. Say it. Put sticky notes up. Put it on your phone, computer, mirrors, etc. Everywhere. I am light. And do your best to believe that that light is there. You've had these issues for years, so this is not going to be an instant fix here. Okay. You are light, and I can see it, and I know it's there. And sometimes it does help to have somebody else reflect it to you, because I know if you're struggling and then somebody says something good to you, and I'm not saying you particularly, but you, everyone who's watching who might relate to this, somebody says something good, what do? We resist it. We're back to number 2, resistance versus acceptance. We resist it. We push it away. That can't be true because of this. That's not true because of that. And our inner critic gets going. So what we want to do is accept it. Somebody tells you you are light. Somebody tells you you are love. Accept it. Even if you say to yourself, it feels so weird, I can't do it. Do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Okay, so it's one small step at a time. Okay, you are not a loser. You're actually an amazing person. And part of the reason so much of this bothers you is you're very sensitive. You have a lot of empathic abilities. And so that's part of it. Another thing to try actually just popped into my head. Okay, one more thing, and then I'll get to more people. I still got time, you guys. Is to put your fingers on the third eye here. Okay, and then put your hand on your heart and breathe in just that feeling of I am love through your heart into your third eye area. That's your intuitive sense, your spiritual connection too. And just feel that I am light, I am light, I am light. And what's happening is you're strengthening your love, you're strengthening the connection to the spiritual and your intuitive sense as well, because you are empathic. So that will help. Okay, that was a mix of a reading, a coaching, a soul guidance. It was everything in there. Amazing. Okay, we did that. Okay, let's see. Okay, Chrissy, you said something earlier. That's you. Emotional roller coaster. And I said pinball. Look at me writing things down. Okay, Chrissy. This is interesting. Kind of similar to what I saw with Angela, with the chute, like the oh my gosh, the slide. When I am channeling you guys, I lose words sometimes, so bear with me for a sec. So I'm going like this with this, and that's what it feels like here too. Yeah, and part of it I think is because you mentioned emotional roller coaster, a little bit of that feeling of out of controlness going on right there for you. You would understand. So we've got some of that feeling going on where you're feeling out of control. what I'm seeing for you. Okay, and I said this to somebody, I don't know where, but probably 2 weeks ago, for all I know. I want a line going straight up and down with you. Okay, then this is what I'm feeling. I want energy coming in your head, going through your body, and right out your feet. And this is an energy thing. You're getting the free for all tonight, you guys. Energy, readings, whatever pops into my head. So I want you to envision this energy coming down through your head, down through your body, and you can even do these motions into the ground, and with the intention that the energy is just coming in and clearing out anything you don't need and sending it into the earth. Okay, that is going to help a lot. So, Chrissy, you are a person that has so much. What is the word I'm trying to find? I want to say, what am I saying? The word's not coming. Hold on. It'll come to me in a second. I'll go to the other one first. Love is very big for you. Okay, love is huge. And we all have that, but we all express it in different ways. So, Chrissy, with you, love is in the small things that you do for people and for yourself as well. You also are empathic and you share for people. And sometimes the energy is overwhelming for you too. So this is a good one to do, where you do the energy thing and send it through your body. And I want such a beautiful sense with you of value, of worth. And I wonder if you struggle sometimes with self-worth because it's so strong for me. So there's a lot of that feeling in there of you being so valuable, so worthy. And I wonder if you've had to really work at believing that to be true. I feel like if you have, it's not bad now. So that's cool. Okay. One more thing. I want a color for you. I love colors. Pink. I want pink for you. Pink is the heart chakra, so that goes with the love, of course. Ooh, catch up, Colleen. And in that case, I would also want you to have a pink rose quartz. Have a rose quartz and do some meditation to kind of keep yourself centered and grounded. Yeah, like that. Kind of fun. Okay, that was fun. It's not really a reading, but it sort of is. Just lots of information for you. So there you go, Christy. Maybe that'll help with some of those other feelings. So many people. I don't know which one I want to do. I saw a name and it grabbed me and it went away. Don't worry, I'm coming. Okay, Jennifer says, wow. Okay, Julie. You had asked for a reading like 2 weeks ago, I remember. I used to not have a memory, but now I do. Okay, now this is going to be funny. I'm in colors mode tonight, you guys, for some reason. But Julie, what I am seeing is red. I love red. It's my favorite color, but like the bluish kind of red, not an orangey red. So I'm seeing that kind of red. And for that, what it means to me is the obvious enthusiasm, excitement, but it also means somebody who can have a strong personality and can be the negative connotation of that or not. Okay. So it's somebody who's kind of secure in themselves for you. That would not go necessarily for my reading, but for you that does. There's also this beautiful sense of you really working hard to help in so many different ways. And it feels like you have your fingers in lots and lots of things trying to make stuff better. You must be a very good helper. You are. You're a good helper. And I mean that in the most pure giving sense, okay? That sense. And also the strength that you have when you do this, problem solving as well. Ooh, there's a lot of good qualities about you. I love this. You're the kind of person we all want to have on our side. That's who you are, because you're the one that's going to be loyal and stand up with us and stand up for people and things like that. Okay, I'll just stop there. I'm trying not to go on and on as much as I would love to. Yes, Julie Kiss it was. Sorry, I should say last names. But if it makes sense to you, Julie Wentz, take it. Okay, let's do Glenda needs some guidance. The first thing I got was trust yourself. Do you doubt yourself a lot? Because it was like popped into my head immediately. Tell her to trust yourself as much as possible. Don't be swayed by other people's opinions. Make sure you're checking in with yourself. What feels right? It's always a feeling, not a thinking. What feels right with you? What feels right? Check in. Make sure. Yeah, that's really your answer, is to trust yourself. I wonder what you're going through. You don't have to tell me, but I wonder what you're going through, where you might be going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Think about that. Also, surrender and trust. That's the thing. Isn't it interesting how these things, the Spirit told me to talk about this stuff yesterday, basically, or 2 days ago. And I was like, okay. But it's stuff we really need to be reminded of, don't we? You know, that we have a power of choice, acceptance versus resistance, surrender and trust, allow ourselves to be guided. Wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to think about all those worries? We just let Spirit or God take care of it? Wouldn't that be amazing? Do you know how much happier we would be? We'd still have crap happening. But we would be like, okay, just tell me where to go. Show me what to do. And we don't have to figure it out ourselves. Wow, my whole mind just like empties when that happens. Okay. So, Julie Wentz, I'm going to give you a word. Just a word. A word. I kind of like what I told, who was it? Mary. That light again. That light. I am light. And by that, I mean that spiritual light. The same exact thing I said to her. You take that, Julie. Okay? Take it. I am light. It's going to take a little while, isn't it? It is going to take a while. Okay, one more, even though it's 9 o'clock. Mary, you're right. I'm someone in need of having someone else see it and tell me it's there. It's hard when we are struggling, you know, and again, that's part of the reason we started the community, so we could reflect back to people who they really are and remember themselves again, their true essence, their true soul. That's part of the reason we did it. Things have been so dark, and it's funny because I'm like, and remember, I am light. I am light. And don't forget, everybody, we are living in the craziest time ever, are we not? You know, there's so much weird stuff happening out there. And so that energy is affecting us. Okay. Even if things are going well for us, we still might have some of those feelings that we just kind of get that weird kind of disconcerted or anxious going on all the time. That can happen for sure. I sounded like a California girl on that, for sure. Angela says she likes to think she's fun. Laura, okay, really quick. I believe that I've been guided to where I am right now, and I have recently started diving into family heritage and I'm finding out things I never knew. Is my guide a family member who has passed? Actually, yes. Normally I would be like, no, because it's usually not, but it feels like it is, actually. So this will be fun to see how that feels to you as you're going forward, because it feels like you're finding things, obviously, that you didn't expect, but also it's almost like synchronicities and coincidences. You hear something and all of a sudden you catch it and you're like, wait a minute. Oh, and it makes sense, you know? So I see a lot of that happening around you. Yeah, and you've definitely been guided to where you are right now. No question about that. Yeah, and well, I know that you're persistent and dedicated, and I know you don't give up easily. So I know those things, and that's because I know her, everybody. I'm not reading her. I already know that about her. But we can also acknowledge that she has a lot more sensitivity than she leads other people to believe. And so this is kind of fun because I'm really feeling like your intuition is getting stronger and stronger and stronger as well. I did not expect to say that. Okay, so that's fun. Okay, so now next week I will be here. Shocking. I was not here last week because we were teaching our free class. But here I am today. So next week I'll be here. And if you want, we can continue doing questions and little readings. And if you want to do that, you let me know right here in the comments. Make sure you give some reactions at the top, likes or hearts to this post. So that, you know, it helps other people see it, actually. And if you haven't yet checked out the Soul Empowerment Community, you definitely want to do that. It does close later on tonight at midnight, though I probably won't check it till the morning, of course, because I have to change some things on my website. So, but you'll definitely want to sign up sooner rather than later. I don't know when we're going to reopen the doors for registration. Definitely, it's going to be at least several months before we reopen them. And so check it out. If you have questions, send me a message and I will answer you eventually. And don't worry, Megan, if you missed, the recording will be up. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today, and we will do this again next time if you like. Definitely write it in there if you want me to, though, or I'll go off on my own little tangent, and we will have fun. Either way, no matter what we do, we'll have fun. So I'll see you guys next week, and definitely go check out the community. And again, if you have questions, send me a message and I'll check it. See you soon. Have fun. Bye.